Hello, my friends. Hello. I just saw a comment in the chat that said something like, I love how Melanie has such a calm take on things. Even when she rants, it's not really a rant. And as I saw that comment, I had to take a step back and I had to take a deep breath because I am mad as hell and I am not going to take it anymore. This is beyond. This is beyond anything that I have ever seen in 30 years of practicing law in New York. This is beyond. I am beside myself. I am so angry. I don't know how you feel about this, but I just can't. I just can't. I really just can't with this. I don't know if you guys saw this yet or heard about this yet. And I was actually in court today on a different matter, obviously, and I was driving home from court at about 5:30, maybe 4:30, and I turned on Dr. Joe's show and I watched it from the beginning or listened to it because I was driving. And when they brought this up, I couldn't not even believe it. People say to me sometimes, why does it say recovering lawyer in your description of your channel? What's a recovering lawyer? And it's kind of like you're embarrassed to admit that you're a lawyer because everybody hates lawyers. I don't even like lawyers. I only have a few friends that are lawyers. And what happened today, the papers that were filed today by the defense firm in the Take Care of Maya case by Howard Hunter are the reason that people hate lawyers. And mark my words when I tell you that this motion today, with the motion, the supplement to the motion to disqualify juror number 1, Hill Ward Henderson will have single-handedly destroyed the juror system in this country. Nobody will want to serve on a jury again after today. After what has been done to juror number 1 in this case, who is going to want to serve on a jury? Anybody here want to volunteer for jury duty? Knowing that your name and address could become a public court filing when the defense gets a verdict that they don't like? Who's signing up for that? Who's signing up for them trash talking your wife and trash talking Jules, who went to court and watched and was our eyes in the courtroom? Does anybody remember the First Amendment? Anybody remember that courtrooms are public? This is the sleaziest thing that I have ever seen in 30 years of practicing law. I am embarrassed to be a lawyer today. Embarrassed. And if this doesn't shock your conscience, I don't know what will. Oh, some people don't even know. Okay, this is, I got my Maya hat on. I got my pink sweater on because it wasn't bad enough, right? It wasn't bad enough that in their wah, 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 we lost, that they had to completely dox juror number 1 with his name and address and claim that he what did he do? That there was some sort of juror misconduct on his part, on juror number 1. They tried like hell to get him off the jury before deliberations. Didn't work. They tried. They picked him. They thought he was former law enforcement, so he'd be sympathetic to their cause. But when he wasn't, they wanted him off the jury. And they will stop at nothing. At nothing. The fact that a hospital would sign off on what they did today is disgusting. And you should be disgusted as a patient, as a human, as a potential juror. I can't. Remember when I talked to you about the law firm that had ChatGPT write their legal briefs, and then they were exposed when the court found out that all the cases that were cited in their brief didn't exist because they trusted ChatGPT to write their brief? When you find out where this motion came from, you might be shocked, but you won't be surprised. It wasn't bad enough what they've already done to the jury system and to the actual juror. If you don't know what happened, this is going to blow your mind because it blew mine. Let me know if you think I'm in the twilight zone because I'm horrified by this. So horrified that I'm late because I needed to calm down before I even came on this stream. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of really gross lawyer tricks and a lot of really disgusting, sleazy moves. This takes the cake, my friends. This takes the cake. Let me know what you think. This is a supplement to their motion to get a new trial based on juror misconduct. Motion for the juror interview. Remember, they also wanted the judge to order that juror number 1 and his wife, by the way, turn over their electronic devices, their Google searches, their social media history to the court. And they want to interview the juror. They didn't say in their motion papers that they wanted the judge to interview the juror. They want to interview the juror. They want to interview the juror. They didn't redact the juror's name and address out of their initial motion papers. It was out there on the public forum that anyone can access by going onto the Sarasota Clerk of Court website. 6 days after it had been filed publicly, then I don't know who, somebody went in there and redacted it, but it was already out. So this is their second supplement to that motion. Defendant, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, by and through undersigned counsel and pursuant to Rules 1.431 and 1.530, Florida Rules of Civil Procedure, files this second supplement to its motion for a new trial based on juror misconduct, motion for juror interview, motion to open discovery into evidence of juror misconduct, and emergency motion to preserve evidence. They want to preserve evidence by having juror number 1 and his wife turn over their cell phones, their Google history, and their social media profiles to the court, or actually to the defense firm so that they can inspect them. Number 1, a copy of a note to the court sent by juror number 1 on or about October 12th of 2023 during the trial of the above styled cause and shortly after excerpts of Dr. Sally Smith's deposition testimony were published to the jury is attached as Exhibit A. Let's look at Exhibit A, shall we? This was after Sally Smith, her deposition testimony was shown to the jury on October 12th. That was day 14 of the trial. You may recall that during plaintiff's direct case, they played portions of Sally Smith's deposition testimony. We went over that testimony at length on a live stream together. And we did Kathy Beatty's testimony and Sally Smith's testimony on the same night. Because who would want to break those two up? It was gold. This, they allege, was written by juror number 1, as you can see in the corner. This is the must be the exhibit number or the evidence number that it was filed in the public court file. And this was written October 12th of 2023. And it says, y'all. 1, will the jury be able to observe Sally Smith as a live witness or by Zoom during these proceedings? This is their highlighting, this yellow portion, not mine. I do highlight the motion, but this is not me. This is the defense firm. 2, are we able to be told, A, as there appears to be probable cause of improper actions by and of Sally Smith in her assigned role at JHACH, was she, quote, written up, end quote, or, quote, coached, end quote. B, is Sally Smith still performing duties at JHACH? This is Exhibit A. This is what defendants allege was written by juror number 1. But it is important to note this was not shown to the jury. This was not read to the jury. If somebody can point to me where this was read in open court, I have no knowledge of that. But this was not a jury question. This was just a note that the juror sent to the judge. 2, an excerpt from the website of the Simon Wiesenthal Center documenting the appearance of a uniform badge of the Nazi German Schutzstaffel, or SS, is attached hereto as Exhibit B. It will be noted that in Exhibit A, juror number 1 has printed the letter S throughout the note normally with a curve in the spine, except that he printed his S with sharp angles when printing Dr. Sally Smith's name. Both the second and third times that the juror prints Dr. Sally Smith's name, the letter S is shaped in a manner identical to the symbol of the Nazi Schutzstaffel exhibited in Exhibit B. Printing the first letter of Dr. Smith's first and last name in this manner makes clear juror number 1's bias and prejudice against Dr. Smith, and thus defendant, equating Dr. Smith with a notorious Nazi organization. In addition, juror number 1 on October 10th, 2023, printed Exhibit C, in which he effectively prejudged the relationship between defendant and Dr. Sally Smith, equating one with the other. Let's go to Exhibit B, shall we? Here is, okay, this is what they're referring to. These sharp angles in the S's of Sally Smith that they have so kindly highlighted for the court because, we need to point these out. Sally Smith looks like a lightning bolt. Yeah. Sally Smith. Okay. I don't see any other. He writes in all caps, which is common for some people. But, if we look around, there's another S here. There's another S here. Maybe he was trying to, I don't know. I'm not going to even try and infer what the juror meant by that. And I'm certainly not going to infer that this is some sort of Nazi symbol, as they so interestingly point out in their Exhibit B that we should take as fact. Lightning bolts. The SS lightning bolts is a symbol often used by neo-Nazis and white supremacists. The lightning bolts were part of the uniform of Nazi SS soldiers. Often, the SS lightning bolts are used to show support for hateful beliefs and ideologies. Extremists will sometimes use lightning bolt emojis to evade detection by moderation systems on social media platforms. This tactic is commonplace in extremist codes. This tactic is commonplace in extremist codes. For example, users will replace 88 with two pool 8-ball emojis to reference Heil Hitler. I don't know what this is. Archangel Michael 1488 has 20 posts, 20 followers. They don't explain this. This looks like an Instagram, somebody's Instagram. I don't know whose. They don't say whose it is. I thought they said Exhibit B was a screenshot from some website. The website of the Simon Wiesenthal Center. They don't explain what the Simon Wiesenthal Center is, as if the court should have to go, investigate that on its own, do its own research. So this is an excerpt of the website. That's all they say that it is. They don't say that this is juror number 1's Instagram. Here's a picture of the patch. They don't see that juror number 1 was wearing this patch on his jacket when he came to serve jury duty every day. Nazi eagle. This symbol was adopted by the Nazis based on traditional German coats of arms that featured eagles. The Nazi version often has a swastika clutched below in the eagle's talons or other symbols such as the sun wheel and iron cross. Here we have a picture of two eagles and some other symbols. And at the bottom, we are supposed to believe, or perhaps this really did come from, the Simon Wiesenthal Center Research Department. Wiesenthal, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Don't come for me. Number 3. Juror number 1's reference to Dr. Sally Smith with the use of Nazi symbolism demonstrates a clear bias, prejudice, and prejudgment against her and thus defendant in the above styled cause, and demonstrates an additional basis upon which defendant's motion for a new trial based on juror misconduct, motion for juror interview, motion to open discovery into evidence of juror misconduct, and emergency motion to preserve evidence, as well as a new trial generally, should be granted. Love, Howard Hunter, and David Hughes. Hill, Ward, Henderson, P.O. Box, in case you want to write them a letter, P.O. Box 2231, Tampa, Florida, 33601. There's their phone number if you'd like to give them a call. The fact that they are now calling to action for potential bullies, stalkers, harassers, all of the above, some of the above, to now go after juror number 1 by insinuating that he holds Nazi beliefs is disgusting to me. Disgusting. And it's not surprising where they got this idea for this motion, because do you remember when they had the pictures of Maya from Halloween and from Homecoming, and Maya got really upset on the stand and she said, I can't believe that you went into my social media, my friend's social media, because I did not publish those pictures. And Mr. Shapiro said, oh, I'm really sorry, Maya. We didn't get these. Somebody sent these to us in a way to further gaslight this young woman, as if they haven't gaslit her enough since 2016 into knowing that there were people going behind her back that were against her, that were sending potentially in what they thought was damaging information to the defense firm. He made sure to let her know that. Anybody in here a father? If somebody did that to your daughter on the stand in front of a national, international audience, how'd that make you feel? Because here's where they got it from, guys. Here's where they got it from, guys. They got it from Reddit. They got this idea from a Reddit conspiracy thread. Because it's not good enough to have ChatGPT write your briefs. Let's go to the trolls on Reddit and let's steal their idea. Let's just put it in the motion papers. This was posted 17 days ago, which would have been November 20th of 2023. And the post says, juror question 10/12, is the stylized SS in these questions a nod to the Nazi SS? Good to see him keeping an open mind about her testimony at this point. Or is this just my imagination? Says the poster on Reddit. Actual note here, not an attempt at humor. So here's the actual note that was attached as an exhibit by the defense firm in today's filing that was posted by this, I don't know, what do you call them? Redditors? And then you can read the comments. And you can go on to read the comments. Oh my God, great catch. And only on her name. Notice the uppercase S doesn't match the style of the other letters. Still can't fathom how the judge thinks he's not biased. What possibly reason, except from plaintiff propaganda, can Sally Smith be slandered like this? She was doing her job, a bloody hard job, and thoroughly. Well, yeah, how could Sally Smith be slandered? But you know what? The defense firm seems to think they can slander juror number one all they want. And his wife. And Jules. And some YouTubers. Welcome to the wild, wild world of YouTube and Reddit, and where social media invades every aspect of our lives. When I watched Uncivil and Lawyer You Know, I think they said something like the juror cannot like the defense and cannot like the witnesses. I think there were some things Lawyer You Know thought were stronger, like when he identified with the deceased. I'm still in disbelief that Judge C let juror one stay. This is terrible. I can't find another example where he fashions his S's in the same manner. This appears intentional. To play devil's advocate, I don't see any other capital S's on this page. Someone kindly posted a batch of Juror 1's notes about 3 days ago. I scanned them and could not find any as dramatically angled as these. In comparison, these really do stand out. And, oh, okay, I haven't compared them to other notes. You'll kick yourself when you realize that all his S's are capitals. As you can see, he's not too subtle with it either. LOL, I just did kick myself when I saw he writes in all caps. Like they're getting on it. They're on it. These people have way too much time on their hands, I submit to you. It's odd, but what's with beginning with y'all? He's addressing a court of law. I just can't, y'all. And then they dox him some more. Somebody says, wait until he sees the price increase of his health insurance and medical care now, after hospitals are having to pay out $250 million from ludicrous jury trials. I would like to ask him about his flood insurance and homeowners insurance down there in Florida. He's definitely a Fox News viewer. I'm a hater of handwriting analysis, but I can't imagine it's anything else. I can. You know what I'm imagining that it could be? I'm imagining that he could be a fan of the band Kiss. That's what I'm imagining. Mr. Anderson, I hope you're watching, because I'm going to give you some ammo for your responsive pleading. I think maybe he's a fan of AC/DC. What do you think? Maybe he likes Gatorade. Maybe. Oh, wait a second, you guys. I think I might have cracked the case wide open. He's a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Damn it. Those hockey fans. Or maybe he likes ZZ Top and he just wrote it backwards for fun. You think that could be a possibility? I don't know. I'm thinking they live near Tampa, right? It is Florida. They're a pretty good hockey team. It's like half the symbol right there. Gatorade's got a lightning symbol. I mean, look, that is the AC/DC symbol. Am I right? And it also is the way that Kiss wrote their letters too. Maybe he's a Kiss fan. Think he's a Kiss fan? Does that mean he's a Nazi? Is that the only possible interpretation that could be? Autumn Blaze, thank you for your super chat. They filed this on the first night of Hanukkah. Disgusting. Happy Hanukkah to everyone who's celebrating. And I'm sorry to interrupt your celebration if you have not had your celebration yet tonight. Thank you for that. And yeah, even more disgusting. Hi, Rochelle. It's my stand-up comedy. Rochelle, I'm so angry. I think there's smoke coming out of my ears right now. I really do. Like, I am crazed. I'm crazed. I'm crazed with anger about this. There's nothing funny. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to make light of it because I'm so angry. And I might explode. Yeah, Jade Kiss, right? Scott, you're a Kiss fan. Same, right? I mean, isn't it the same symbol? I mean, is that the only symbol? I mean, we got to go back to it now because I just can't with this. I mean, are they still going to be, are they going to lose the client as a hospital? I mean, the hospitals are going to lose, are they going to lose the hospital as a client? If you're the hospital, do you want, you paying for this? This is what you're paying for. Okay. Keep that symbol in mind. Okay. That looks like it's like more upright. Doesn't look like that. Does it look like that? No, I submit to you. Looks more like that. What do you think? What say you, my friends? What say you? Am I crazy? Who's Archangel Michael 1488? Did they forget to address that? Or was that on the website of the Wiesenthal Center? Please tell me what you think. I need to come to you now before I lose it. Calista, if anything, it looks more like Kiss, but it also looks to me like he just wrote the S's bigger in the name because it's a proper noun. Maybe that's what people do when they write in all caps. I'm gonna say that that's pretty cool. Yeah, such a reach. Sorry, this is on Shay Freeman. Hey, Chantal. Hello, all my naughty cupcake friends. Thank you, Laura, for your super chat. So glad you share my feelings on this. I've been waiting for you to go live. Furious. I can't even believe we're talking about this. I can't believe we're talking about it either. I thought we were just going to wait until the 15th. I thought on the 11th I could do a video on the plaintiff's response to these motions because their response is due on the 11th. I didn't think that they were going to pull some supplemental info straight out of Reddit and submit it to the court as a real bona fide good faith theory. Oh, thank you, Laura, for your super chat. Dr. Joe was very complimentary to you today. Oh, thank you. That's nice. I didn't even get to listen to the whole thing. I didn't hear that part of it. I think I missed the very end. Maybe it was at the end. Dave the Pies, thank you for your super chat. In German, you pronounce the second vowel like Budweiser. Which part? Second vowel of which? Of the symbol name? Budweiser? We say Budweiser here in the States, so I'm not sure. Whatever I pronounced wrong, I apologize. Use Dave's pronunciation if he's right. Thank you for your super chat. Oh, Lynn, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. That is so amazing. Lynn is one of my amazing mods. And if you want to opt into gifts, there's something you have to do. You know, hit the plus button, opt in, and then they randomly, YouTube randomly gives 5 memberships out to the people who are engaging with the chat. Thank you, Lynn, so much. And Janine, thank you for being a member for 1 month. How are they getting the jury notes? That was a good question. Well, the post was on November 20th, and that was after the verdict, right? Wasn't the verdict on November 9th? I don't know where these came from. If anybody knows, let me know. I know they were published in the court file, but not until very recently. Thank you, Debbie, for your super chat. I really hope the judge's response is, counselor, pack your toothbrush and clear your calendar for the next 30 days. You'll be in jail while the bar investigates. Could happen. And they keep doubling down on it. That's what's so gross about this. Autumn Blaze, thank you for your super chat. They filed this one on the first night. Oh, we did that one already. Yeah, on the first night of Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Let's submit a Nazi reply to the motion. Let's accuse juror number 1 of basically being a white supremacist and Nazi sympathizer, because who else would even know about those S symbols that are also found in the rock band Kiss logo and the AC/DC logo and the Tampa Bay Lightning logo as well. Courtney, I'm guessing JHACH counsel has no idea how ironic it is to invoke Nazism against jurors. Holocaust started with T4 hereditary health courts and Nazis locking up and unaliving people with disabilities. Yeah. Beck Edwards, this is beyond a joke. It's beyond a joke, but it is also vicious, vitriolic, straight out of Reddit, and it shows a real desperation, I would imagine. I mean, where's the checks and balances in this law firm? Did they ask their client to approve this? Would their client have approved this? This is a children's hospital. They're supposed to be wholesome and taking care of children, not accusing jurors of being Nazi sympathizers. I'm improper. Thank you, Jason. And look, do you see Jason's symbol? That's a Grateful Dead symbol. That's a Steely symbol. So maybe he's a deadhead. Is that possible? I don't know. Did they submit an affidavit from a handwriting analysis expert with their motion papers? Or they just want to throw it out there so they can throw some more shade on juror number 1 and rally the troops against him? That's my fear. Because some of these people out there on the internet are nuts. Have you seen the Iked Mel lawsuit? Because that is also revolting. I was going to cover that, and then this came up. Somebody accused Iked Mel on the internet, on YouTube, of doing some pretty disgusting things, another YouTuber. And there's a lawsuit pending about that right now. So, it's like a big free-for-all out here. Dave, the hospital showed their true colors with that town hall meeting video that was leaked. Yep. And that was something else that was leaked to the plaintiff's firm. BL looks like tire tread to me. Red pen, this just goes to show how desperate the hospital's legal team has become. It's really sad. Really, really low. And it's really low. Oh, Amber, thank you for this. Both sides were given copies of the questions during a sidebar partway through the defense case. Okay, so both sides got them. So does that mean that the person who posted this on Reddit is a member of the defense team? How would someone on Reddit have gotten access to it? Were they leaked? That's interesting to me. Betty, JHACH will lose a lot of patients when this is exposed. Only their notes. The questions they submitted all were copied and were marked as evidence. And this was not a question. This was a note, right? A note to the jury. I thought juror stuff was destroyed after trials. Okay, maybe that was in response to that. The notes were shredded. Yep, somebody else says, I thought the jury notes were shredded. Makes me think Hunter grabbed jury number 1 notes before that happened. Wrong, whoever gave them the notes. I don't know. Kimmy would never take her child there. Thanks, Kimmy. Green-eyed lady number 25. Don't law firms have ethics committees? I don't know. I heard Greg Anderson say that today on Dr. Joe's show. Oh, look. Here's a lightning bolt. See this? My body used to be a wonderland. This was a Dead & Company sticker from this, I guess 2022. It's a spoof on a John Mayer song. I heard Greg Anderson say that, and I've never been in a massive law firm before with hundreds and hundreds of lawyers, but I don't know how big their law firm is and whether they would have an ethics committee or not. But they might. I would imagine this might have had to pass through some kind of channels before it was filed in open court this morning. Let's see what time this was filed. This was filed today at 11, right before lunch, 11:24 a.m. Happy Hanukkah to whoever has to respond to this, although they do have until December 11th. But, well, what's today? Today's the 7th. Plaintiff's firm has until the 11th. Hanukkah is what? 8 crazy nights, according to Adam Sandler. So, the last thing they did was filed the day before Thanksgiving, and now here we go. Here we go again. Yes, Scott, they are looking for more angles to get a retrial, but how low can you go? Go to Reddit. This was posted on Reddit 17 days ago. We know they've been scoping out Reddit. We know they've been scoping out YouTube. They've been trolling the chats. They've been screenshotting the chats because that was some of the exhibits in their last, the original motion was some of the things that juror number one's wife, Hippo Lover, sat in some LawTube chats during the trial. And, that was evidence of what exactly? We don't know. Juror number one's household companion was watching LawTube. Laura says, Livid, this is absolutely disgusting. I can't imagine their clients signing off on this. Karen says, there are no checks and balances, apparently. Thank you, Oblivious Benson. Hello, my own personal Penelope Garcia. I know we got to do that show. Maybe JHACH is full of Odinists. That, Kat, that's the first thing I thought when I saw those patches. When I saw those patches, that patch and that exhibit, I thought the same thing. Oh, Odinist patches, just like the corrections officers weren't wearing, who were guarding Richard Allen in the Delphi case. This reeks of desperation. Jules, hi, Jules. They got all the notes approximately before the trial ended at the end of the day. Remember when they were all given a huge stack of papers? Yeah. So they've had this note, but they didn't make, the gotcha connection until they read it on Reddit. But the thing is, it was posted on Reddit 17 days ago. So somebody must be snoring, sleeping over there on the defense team, because if they did have this and they were just waiting to, sock it to them on the first night of Hanukkah, job well done, my friends. Job well done. Debbie Dunn, they also had Sally Smith working there with no oversight. That's right. That's right. And something else that I noticed in this motion paper as well is when they say, juror number one's reference to Dr. Sally Smith with the use of Nazi symbolism demonstrates a clear bias, prejudice, and prejudgment against her and thus defendant. But wait a minute. Wait. I thought it's your position that Sally Smith has nothing to do with JHACH. She's not an employee of JHACH. She has nothing. She's not us. We are not her. Jury should be instructed that she does not work for JHACH. So now you're claiming that juror number one's reference to Sally Smith and his bias, alleged bias against Sally Smith, somehow flows through to the hospital when you're alleging all along Sally Smith has nothing to do with the hospital. Which is it? Because even if we take this as true, that juror number one does have a bias against Sally Smith has nothing to do with you, JHACH, right? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Which is it? Pick your poison. Pick your theory. Printing the first and last letter, the first letter of Dr. Smith's first and last name in this manner makes clear juror number one's bias and prejudice against Dr. Smith and thus defendant. No, because you're alleging that Dr. Sally Smith does not work for the defendant. The only defendant remaining in this case is you, hospital, you. So this line of reasoning makes no sense. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Good point. Great point. Jules was there. It all had to do with the jury questions. Judge C wasn't very happy because his clerk had to stop and make copies of everything. Hunter and Shapiro were complaining. Oh, Ray, girl, my credulity is strained. I started making the merch. It strains credulity. Who wants a shirt? It strains. You can also get the Team Maya hats, shirts, everything. I linked them to this video. All proceeds from any of this Team Maya merch is going to CRPS research. So I didn't jack up the prices or anything. My merch is all reasonably priced. I also have, come for me in the comments, mugs, people. Come for me in the comments. Come for me. Come for me. Had some pretty nasty comments the other night when I was on Duty Ron's show, to the point where I don't think I'm going to go on anybody's show ever again. So it's just me, guys. It's just me. You just got me. I can't do it anymore. This is disgusting. It's disgusting. I'm in full screen. Let me figure out how to get out of here so I can come to some more of your Kiss is literally so Jewish. Gene Simmons' mom escaped the Holocaust and his real name is John. It's really? Wow. Chat in the actual curse word. That's all they could come up with. My brain's about to explode. And oh my God, poor Kowalski family. Guess they haven't been through enough torture and trauma. And you know what? Neither has juror number 1, who actually served his civic duty. And just because you didn't like the result, Hunter, does not give you the right to try and bully a citizen of the United States of America and to try and get your whole Reddit mob to go after him, because essentially that's exactly what you're doing with these papers. You took your theory from a Reddit conspiracy post. Christy, I am so with you. I am so with you. It is ridiculous. False start. Maya's lawyers should put their response in on Christmas Eve. Well, they could, except for it's due by December 11th because the hearing is going to be on December 15th. So I think that Judge Carroll's head might pop off. I really do. I think it might pop off because if you recall, he had to take like a couple of like breaks during the trial where he just looked at the attorneys and said, we're going to take 5 minutes. And he actually left the room. And I could tell that he was about to pop off and lose his temper because my head would have exploded at that point. And he calmly left the room, took a minute, did a little meditation or whatever he had to do to get himself back in the game, to calm down enough to come back and face them, because there was some really outrageous conduct that took place during that trial. Maggie May says, between this behavior and intentionally misleading the jury, Hunter should be sanctioned and disbarred. Dave the Pious, thank you for your super chat. Does juror number 1 actually have to do all these things? You mean like hand over his cell phone and his social media information, that kind of thing? I don't know. The judge hasn't ruled on that yet. He's going to, I think, reserve decision probably on the 15th when he hears these motions. But sanctions is always an option. Sanctions, monetary sanctions, a referral to the Bar Association or the Grievance Committee, because this is disgusting behavior and it may go against the Code of Professional Responsibility. Just saying. I don't know if, if it's do you think it's in poor form for a defense firm or any law firm really to publicly attack a juror and release all of his personal information and then to sort of try and rally some sort of response from the people on Reddit and YouTube and elsewhere that they know are on their side? I got a lot of problems with this. A lot of problems. Ray, I think Judge Carroll himself might pop off. I think this hearing might get a touch disrespectful and he's going to lose his cool. Honey, strains credulity. Shoot, strained my hamstrings. I'm kicked back on the couch. Lisa, this is such a great question. Can this juror sue Howard Hunter or the firm? It's a great question. And I don't practice law in Florida. I practice in New York. But Florida laws seem to be very generous to plaintiffs. Defamation, slander, libel, just a couple of things I come up with off the top of my head. Intentional infliction of emotional distress, knowing that all of these things that they're accusing juror number one of doing, being, saying, thinking would cause him perhaps irreparable harm because it's out there on the internet forever. Just a thought. I'm sure there's some lawyers in Florida that would take that case. I don't think the lawyers have immunity. I don't think the hospital can claim Chapter 39 immunity on that case. Just don't think so. Hello, Fuzzy Doxy. Is it slander? Slander is spoken, libel is written. Defamation, depending on the laws of Florida and the definition, I didn't look it up, but I'm going to say it's a question for a jury, right? Because it would be a question of fact for a jury. I'm going to say there would be a good shot at a lawsuit, especially since they made his name public. There was complete and total disregard for his privacy as a juror. And I'm pretty sure that's in the court rules, at least. You have to be respectful to the jurors. Hi, Chloe's mom. Can you request Zoom access for 12:15 and play it on your channel? You just have to ask for permission by the court. I think I could ask for permission to be on the Zoom, but I don't think it can be rebroadcast. I don't know. I will look into it. The problem with me doing a live show like that is that I like to interrupt, and you know I do. I like to interrupt, and I like to say my thoughts, and I like to break it up. And I wouldn't want to do that on a live stream. It's really hard for me to keep my mouth shut, as you can see. But if they would allow me to broadcast, I don't think they are, though. But let's see what happens. Based on this current stuff and how interested all of you are in this, and apparently there's a whole other side who are also interested in this, maybe they will decide to let Law and Crime and Court TV in with the cameras again to have some decent footage and broadcast it. Maybe they will. Maybe he'll change his mind on that because he may want to see them get a public spanking by him. Because this is outrageous conduct, in my opinion. JHACH keeps this up. I can see this going federal. The Supreme Court might have to step in to protect the jury system's rights. Yeah. Yeah, honey. It could be a constitutional issue. I think you're onto something here. Just Chrissy, the crone. This hospital just wants to give money away, it seems. Anderson said litigation immunity. I'm sure he knows the law in Florida more than I do, far better than I do. But Greg Anderson said juror number one can't sue for defamation because there's immunity in legal actions. But is there an exception for intentionally, let's just say, rallying a mob to go after a juror? I don't know that whatever immunity there is would protect something this egregious. I don't know. I really don't know. If that's what he said, he knows Florida law. He's also, which I did not realize until today, Anderson's firm is mostly a defense firm. They do not have a lot. Well, from what he said today on that podcast, didn't he say on Dr. Joe's that he mostly handles defense cases? A small percentage of their firm's work is plaintiff's work, which is interesting to me because all the firms that I know are one or the other. So it's not often, at least in New York, that you do both plaintiffs and defense work because, I mean, there would just be too many conflicts. If you were defending a certain company, like I think he said he defended Chris Kraft for a while, you would never be able to sue Chris Kraft because that would be a conflict. So I don't know. Oblivious Benson's going to sue JHACH for emotional disrespect for wasting our time. Danielle, Anderson thinks the defense is doing this so juror number 1 loses his cool and does or says something the defense can use against his character. How sad is that? What a bunch of slimy losers. Yeah, isn't that something that a narcissist does, like try and push your buttons to get you to react in a certain way? Are we in high school here? Is that what's going on? Litigation privilege? I need to look into that, Abby. Thank you. All of you said that. Super hard. If it has anything to do with the case, they cannot unfortunately sue them. I don't know. I don't know if jurors' names are supposed to be made public. Don't know. Hey, Deb, Melanie, Peter, the lawyer, and Rob from Low Number were bawled out in court on Friday by the defense saying a prosecution social media manager listened to them talking about the case. Wait, what happened on Friday? Was there a court appearance on Friday? Or are you saying it was in papers? I saw the papers. We went over those papers. But I didn't know anything about this. This is interesting info. Thanks, Deb. Janelle, why are they such jerks? Man, I wish that's like the $1 million, that's the $261 million question. Why are they such jerks? Sandy, I think juror number 1 should sue them for everything they can, both libel and slander. I got to look into that more because I have to believe in a fair world, this juror would have some sort of remedy. This cannot be allowed to happen, you guys. This cannot be allowed to happen. Anybody, raise your hand in the chat if you want to go on jury duty now. And I am all about jury duty. We talk about jury duty all the time on this channel. And I say, please go serve on a jury before this case. Please go serve on a jury. It is the most important civic duty you could ever do. I can't say that I recommend it right now. Can't say it. They never pick me because I'm a lawyer. They don't want me. But I can't say that I would recommend it to you at this point either. If this is allowed to happen and this can go unchecked and they have immunity and they can do whatever that they want to jurors with immunity because there's litigation attached to it, no, I can't. I can't believe that. Yeah, I need to change my handle. Lene, a bus stop juror. Yeah, who's in for that bus stop picture? We can all wear these hats and we can go take a bus stop picture in New York City. Janelle, I had a great experience as a juror, would not want to in Florida. They're watching this worldwide though, Janelle, like it's like, apparently if what the attorneys in Florida are saying, this is acceptable behavior and there is no remedy for juror number 1. He's just out of luck. They can do whatever they want to him and his wife and to Jules. Need some Z's. Imagine people start using this case as a reason to be dismissed for serving. Is there any reason why you cannot be impartial? Yep. And why is that? That's because I watched what happened to the juror in the Kowalski case, Your Honor. And I also watched the Murdoch case, and I saw what happened in that case with the egg lady juror. And she was accused of, all kinds of crazy stuff. Although they never released her name. You know that? They never released her name in Murdoch. And I can't imagine that. Minoke, thank you so much for your super chat. Was he fired? What are my thoughts? I don't know. I mean, why are people thinking that? Because his name is not in the court docket anymore? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's a partner there. I don't think. And yes, thank you, Hope, always. I am worried for juror number 1 and his family safety too. This is dangerous. Yeah. And this should not be allowed to happen. And are they going to send him police protection now? Because apparently defense firm can do whatever they want to him with complete and total immunity in the state of Florida. So are they going to, now is the court going to give him around the clock protection because they've published his address? Is he going to have to move? Is he going to have damage to his reputation permanently? Is he going to lose his job? It is dangerous. It is dangerous. Why does nobody see that? Kevin Collins, thank you for the super chat. Just horrible. Thanks for taking this up. Love your insight. Shapiro is on vacation. Oh, he got his vacation? Got his vacation for Hanukkah? Finally got his vacation. Because Jules, if you're still here, I think I heard through the grapevine that you had a great comeback for him when he accosted you in the hallway and said to you something like, you can tell us exactly what he said, but he said to you, I believe, something like, what are you going to do after this trial's over? You're going to get a life? And you said something back to him like, I don't know, you think you're going to get your vacation? Which is classic, by the way. Good on you for coming back to him at him like that, because the fact that he attacked you in a public courthouse because you went there and watched the trial is a little bit gross. Yes, you did, Jules. Yes, you did. Here's for Jules, everyone. Everyone give a round of applause for Jules. Defense called her out and used those 2 YouTube channels. And no, Jules is not the social media coordinator. Jules is a person who likes to watch trials. And she went to the trial every single day. And during the trial, she called in to a YouTuber to report what she saw. And there's nothing wrong with that. She did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. This is wrong. Z, in my opinion, Attorney Altenburn, probably wrong spelling, I'm not sure, I think I might be right, didn't sign because I think he hinted he's Jewish during trial and probably would find the motion offensive. I'm Catholic and I find it offensive. I am, yes, Susie Blue Sky, these lawyers are disrespecting the hospital. Jules, we love you. Love you, Jules, says Sheila. Patroness Glow is an amazing moderator of mine. Loves you too. Big Jules is great, says Kevin Collins. Danielle loves Jules. Rochella, another one of my great mods, loves you too. Karen Gamez loves you. Mama Bats, great question. Could juror number 1 file for a protective order, or Jules for that matter? I think there would have to be some evidence of something first, which is unfortunate because a lot of times protective orders are done backwards, almost like you need a reason to fear for your life. Something has to actually happen to you before you can often get one. And again, since I don't practice in Florida, I can't really speak to that, but great question. Here's cupcakes for Jules. Yay. Yay, Jules. Hello, Miss Donna Marie, my queen of the mods. Hello, Ann Bozzarelli. Betty A, the lawyers are nasty because JHACH was so nasty to Maya's family. Yeah, it runs deep, I think. It runs deep. And what's going on here makes the verdict all the more justifiable, in my opinion. And we went over the verdict and the motion to reduce the verdict. And I gave them a couple of points on their motion. And I said that I did think that some of those numbers may be reduced, thrown out, overturned. But what they're doing now goes to a deeper root cause of ick. Make sure I take a shower after you read this. Oh, somebody said, I just got here. What happened? I can't go over it again, but you guys can. You guys can talk about it in the chat. Basically, the defense firm has said that based on the handwriting of juror number 1, using some sharp S's in his note to the court, that he is likening Sally Smith to a Nazi because those S's are in somebody's website as being possible Nazi symbols. And to that, I say, it's also the KISS logo. And in fact, the S's that he wrote look more like the KISS logo. Or the AC/DC logo, the Gatorade logo, or maybe he's a hockey fan and he likes the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't know. Those are a couple of other ideas. The only possibility, you know why? Because Reddit said so. So it must be true. Georgina, I think the judge might reverse himself on this. I think he might air it. Georgina says, I'm so upset this hearing won't be aired. How could they not air it after this? How could they not? I was going to come on the other day and do the whole, plaintiff's opposition to this and the whole thing about them not turning over the IJ and all that. This deserves more attention, in my opinion, because if they would stoop to this, I believe everything that happened in that hospital. Howard Hunter was in the final hearing in the dependency court in 2016, arguing to have Maya sent out of state to an inpatient psychiatric facility and or out of state to be with a medical foster family to have outpatient psychiatric treatment after Beata took her life. Howard Hunter was in that courtroom arguing to the dependency court judge for that relief. And the hospital was a non-party to that action. Let that sink in. A non-party. None of that evidence was allowed in front of the jury in this case. I would argue he had no standing to be there, no standing to argue to the judge. The hospital was not a party. The hospital was a shelter. That's all they were. So Hunter has a personal vendetta against the Kowalskis. Or juror number one. Or he's fearing for his job and he's afraid he's going to lose the hospital as a client. There's a lot of things that I could surmise about this. But why was he fighting so hard after Beata took her life? This 10-year-old's mom hung herself in her garage because she thought that was the only way to get her daughter out of state custody. And after she did that, this man is still arguing to have her sent out of state to a psychiatric hospital. I can't believe that he was even allowed to. He should have been called as a witness, but you know what? He couldn't have been because of Chapter 39. Welcome to Florida, people. Welcome to Florida. I don't live there. I don't practice there. But in Florida, there's immunity for those dependency court proceedings and for anyone who calls in a false allegation of child abuse or a false allegation of Munchausen by proxy on behalf of a parent when they work for a children's hospital diagnosing a parent. There's immunity for all that. And apparently, from what you guys are telling me in the chat, there's immunity for going after a juror when a trial's over. Juror has no remedy for that either. Thank you, Seashell, for becoming a member and for wanting to hang out with me, even though I'm so angry tonight that I'm just really going off on this. This is so revolting to me. Crow Red Eye thinks it's evil. Lorraine W. JHACH is despicable. Swifter Sisters Mama says you can now see how Hunter and Sally Smith pushed Beata to take ultimate action. It was the only control she had. Yeah, and she grew up in communist Poland and saw her father taken away. That's the mindset that she was coming from. So I think we can all believe it now. Anybody who even had a doubt about what happened to Maya in that hospital based on this conduct by the attorneys that were handling this case in real time, people, they're the only ones who are handling this case in real time. You know who wasn't? Risk management. The risk management department of the hospital was not handling Maya's case in real time. Howard Hunter was, as was Ethan Shapiro. They were attending all of the dependency court hearings and they knew that Maya was in the hospital and they knew what was going on. But Dr. Napolitano, who was on the risk management committee, testified in his deposition that he did not even learn about the Maya Kowalski case or who Maya Kowalski was until he read about it in USA Today in 2023. Colleen McPhee, fight, fight, fight the man. I know, I can't. This is why I don't actively practice law anymore, because it's disgusting. Imagine dealing with this every day. After I handled the cases against the Catholic Church, where I represented like 40 or 50 survivors of clergy sex abuse here on Long Island and against the Rockville Center Diocese, after the Suffolk County Grand Jury issued a scathing report showing the fraud and the cover-up and the architects of that policy and how they would shuffle the priests around and let them abuse more and more and more and more kids. I had one priest in that case who abused 20 of my clients among 7 different parishes on Long Island over a span of 15 years because they just kept moving him around. This is disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, he did more than that. He bullied Beata, says Gail. You know, we weren't there. And I don't remember any evidence of that, but it wouldn't surprise me. And Gail, I see it now. You know what? Go get a new trial. Go get a new trial. Because this time you won't even be able to fit the amount of zeros on that check. You're going to need a bigger check. Like the kind they give out at the US Open tennis matches, or the kind they give the lottery winner when they photograph them. That's the size of the check you're going to need for the amount of zeros. Becca says, Melanie, don't forget the flash is a lightning bolt and very similar to the slanted S. Oh, the flash. Oh, yeah. I didn't even put that in my little PowerPoint presentation because I thought that Kiss and AC/DC were so on point. Maybe he likes, metal from the, what is that, 70s, 80s? Jewel says, please add juror number 1's wife. She is a victim too. She is. Well, she is. Mm-hmm. They outed her real name and everything, all her screen names, all her real names. Mm-hmm. Robin says, who let the coyotes into the hen house? Or is that wolves in sheep's clothing? All of it. Fox guarding the hen house, right? Isn't that what they say? Coyotes, fox, wolves in sheep's clothing. It's like the like, we'll go back to the Catholic Church scandal. They had the priests convincing the moms not to go to law enforcement, but the priests were also lawyers, the architects of that policy, Monsignor Alan Plaka, who now we're finding out may be involved with Rex Heuermann, the Long Island serial killer. Oh, the web runs very deep. It's a tangled web we weave, but that's for another show on another night. Deb, you can't put links in the chat, so I'm not sure, but I'm going to look through here. Hospice justice, but isn't the point that they think that the juror is equating Sally Smith with the SS? I don't know what the point is, to be honest. They said something about white supremacy. Are they accusing? I don't think they're accusing specifically. They're going to say they're not specifically accusing the juror of being a Nazi or a white supremacist or a sympathizer, but thinking that Sally is. But then they're saying, on the other hand, so if he thinks Sally is, then he thinks that we are. But then they're saying, but we don't think, we say Sally doesn't even work for the hospital. So the whole theory makes zero sense to me. All I know is they found it on Reddit and they took it directly from Reddit and they puffed it up and they frosted it and they called it their motion. And it's only, this additional response is only 2 pages, 1 paragraph. Let's look at it again. For those of you who are just joining, my goodness, have you missed something really and truly vile tonight? Because this is, we don't usually get this heated, but here we go. It's only 1 page, 2 pages, a little tiny paragraph. A little closing. Love Howard Hunter and David Hughes of Hill Ward Henderson, P.O. Box 2231, Tampa, Florida, 33601. If you'd like to call them, the number is 813-221-3900. Here's the SS's again that they say indicates that Juror number one must think that Sally Smith is a Nazi. And I submit to you, quite honestly, after watching all of those depositions with you, a lot of people might have thought that. But we have no idea why he drew these lightning bolts for Sally Smith. And then they seemingly, as some sort of a incredible reference on the subject of Nazi symbolism, attach a page of a website from the Simon Wiesenthal Center Research Department, as if this is some sort of Nazi symbolism authority. And they say it must mean that, therefore, he was biased. Therefore, we need a new trial because of all of those things about juror number one. We don't know who Archangel Michael 1488 is. We still have not solved that mystery. Maybe they talk about that on Reddit too. I don't know. And then they say that this note that juror number one also wrote, where he doesn't use the Nazi symbolism, indicates that he must be biased because he says, you received a formal request from Dr. S. Smith of JHACH for your records about Maya, correct? You stated you made a call to S. Smith. Did you send the copies to Smith? These were questions that juror number one asked of Dr. Kirkpatrick. Dr. Kirkpatrick testified on October 10th, which was day 12. And I went back and I watched it again. And these questions were asked. And he said, Dr. Kirkpatrick said he never did receive a formal request for his records from Dr. Smith. And he never did send copies because he was never asked to send copies, because in Sally Smith's opinion, it wasn't her job to send out records that actually confirmed the CRPS diagnosis. That was for the parent's attorney to do, because, you know, she can make false allegations and the parents should be able to be forced to go hire an attorney. She shouldn't present anybody else's side, just her own side. Because the DCF system in Pinellas County, Florida is privatized, Sally Smith doesn't get paid unless she's needed, and her job is to find child abuse. And this is not the only case that she has found child abuse in. Honestly, it was nice to hear Dr. Joe today speak highly of you and how respectful you are of questions that come in on your live streams here on Terrifically. Thank you. He might not think I'm respectful if he's watching this now, but I am beside myself. Kevin Collins, can anyone tell me why DCF is private in Florida? Only 6 counties in Florida, apparently. I don't know how many counties are in Florida altogether. But when I did research this, because I was curious too, I found out only 6 counties in Florida are privatized. And Pinellas County is one of them. My wife and I had to deal with something like this in Illinois, but DCFS is only state-run. How can it be private? Only 6 counties in Florida have it that way. And I would submit to you that that is a conflict of interest, because you don't get paid unless you're finding child abuse and taking kids away. So that's what I say. Say what? No way. Not sure what that refers to, Jules, but way. I'm just going to say whatever I said, way. Hey, Sassy Living, late to the party, but this is disgusting from the defense on so many levels, and I feel there should be some kind of consequence for the defense team. I thought that too, but now they're telling me that Florida law grants immunity, that juror number one has no recourse in this case. They can do whatever they want. They can publish his name, his address, they can rally the troops against him, they can have a mob storm his house, and there can be no consequences for that, because something called litigation immunity in Florida, I don't know. But I don't know. All you people that are moving to Florida, the mass exodus from New York, you might want to rethink. I'm just saying. Right. Alex Murdoch's probably taking notes right now. Oh, yeah. You think? Do you think yeah. Think he's watching? Hey, Tonya. Sorry. It's okay. You can be late. You can rewind later. Just stay, current for the party right now. Stay with the live now, because we're having a lot of fun here, even though we're angry about this. This is so disgusting. There are no words. How did the Reddit person get the copy of Juror 1's note? I can't believe that Maya's team would have released it. Did they have a mole? They were getting a lot of information from Reddit. They used a lot of information from YouTube chat screenshots in their Motion papers too. We know Shapiro's wife was in a lot of Facebook groups and chats, and they used that in their response as well. So that's out there. You guys saw it. You were there. There was another woman who I blocked from my channel real quick. Real quick. Iris. We don't know what her connection is to the defense team, but some of you may have experienced her in other chats on other channels, and who knows if it's even a she. Who knows if it's even her real name. But she was out there and she was spewing vitriol and she was fighting with anybody she could to get her message and her point across. So we know that there were a lot of moles on that side. And that's all we know. Betty Rose. Wait. It went by so fast. Hold on. That was great. Hold on. Wait, where is it? Oh no. Here it is. Betty Ross, the call is coming from inside the house. Anybody could tell me what that reference comes from, what movie that comes from? That is an excellent comment. You might win the trophy for the evenings. Betty Ross, I'm going to keep you in mind. Mole equals Shapiro says all about the shade. Swifty Sister's mama, Hunta, is the king of the Florida man. Apparently, juror number 1 is a white supremacist, so who knew? Heisey, if the case was in New York, what would be the possible repercussions be for this behavior? I do not believe that there will be any sort of immunity in this case. I can't imagine any New York lawyer ever trying to pull this stunt. And I am right now embarrassed to be a lawyer. I'm embarrassed to be a lawyer. That's why my channel description says I am a recovering lawyer, because after all of the ugliness and the nastiness and the soul sucking that litigation can take from your life, sometimes you need to pivot and do something else. And I'm embarrassed to be a lawyer. David Pius, Mr. Shapiro probably provided it. Thank you for your super chat. And you could be right. Lita Legally says, right. Oh my God, yes. Would there be any ramifications for her? I heard that too, Alice, that she's Cruella's girlfriend, Cruella. And I think it was Hewlett. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny. So I do not know if that is true. But yes, a lot of people seem to remember her. And she did not last long in this chat. I think, what was it, Donna? One night? Donna Marie? Maybe one night? I bet the other 5 jurors are scared out of their pants open. Defense doesn't come for them next. I feel like they might have done that already if they were going to. Kimberly. Oh, yeah. Ira's been there. She tried to fight with me. Really? OMG. Maria says more will come out about the moles. Wait, there could be a whole new Reddit thread on that. I didn't dive too deep into the Reddit rabbit hole tonight. I just found that, and I thought ChatGPT wasn't bad enough. They had to go to Reddit for their ideas. I just racist. Just when you think the defense couldn't be any more unlikable, seems like self-destruction now. SS Harry Potter. Is that a Harry Potter symbol? Honey 2800. Poot is probably like, well, darn, it went low, but never that low. That was just ungentlemanly. Y'all. Yeah, Jeanette Lawson, I went on a different YouTube and felt like I was flying in an alien spaceship. What? Why'd you do that, Jeanette? Come back to Earth. Come back to the Twilight Zone of LawTube. Yikes. Courtney, you think so? You think Iris is Ethan's alter ego? Oh my God. Shelby says, I blocked her in all the chats. She was awful. Not one thing got past her. Nope. I do not think that there are some of those chats on those channels that were live streaming the trial that had maybe no moderators, or yes, I think that's right. When a Stranger Calls, Jason, isn't that it? It was When a Stranger, or was it Scream? Because Scream might have reused that, but I think it was that old version of When a Stranger Calls. I think you are correct. That's what I was thinking of anyway. That was a creepy, creepy movie. Maybe never want to babysit again after I watched that movie. Cricket, as says they have a whole team monitoring Reddit. They are desperate and trying to gather ammunition. Yes, Cynthia, when a stranger calls, I believe. Yeah, I think so, right? Carol Kane? Was that Carol Kane? When a stranger calls, Sam S. Galaxy says maybe it was the babysitter, says Eileen. Scream. I think when a stranger calls, I believe was the first one. I think so. Z says maybe Iris is Shapiro's wife's undercover name. Could be. Oh, really? Oblivious. Iris is a Reddit lady YouTube chick who screwed with the Delphi case too, huh? Maybe she hires herself out as like a defense social media thwarter or something. Yes, you do. You do have a good memory, Jules. And I'm like you too. I hold a grudge. I don't forget. I don't forget. Missy Blue, we can write letters to the bar, to the newspapers, and whoever we want to write letters to and let them know, even to Judge Carroll. Good, Missy. I hope that's not your real name. I'll take that off. Yeah, Jeanette, I can see that girl on the phone talking to the police. Yep. Scream might have been that too. I think he did make the call from outside the house on that one, but. Hey, Black Rose, another great moderator. Please remember YouTube has rules. Classy. Yeah, we could try and keep it classy in the chat. I don't like the cursey words. I try not to use them. And I have a whole spreadsheet of the demonetization words, and who knows if Nazi is on there. So I guess I can expect to get that little yellow $sign as soon as this one ends, but I don't even care. It's just straight up harassment. Katrina, they're riding a thin tightrope regarding these attacks on Juror after trial. Pretty sure they're not in the total confines of the laws of immunity. They are messy. Thank you for saying that, because I think I'm going to have to look this up. Now I'm going into the rabbit hole. Call me Alice. I may not get out, but I need to go research the Florida law on this going after jurors' immunity thing, because I find that to be not within the confines. Outside the confines, I think you're right. It strains credulity that they would do something like this. Strains credulity. All of it. Okay, so I'll take a deep breath, because we need judicial reform, says Jenny in Georgia. We need some kind of reform. But like I told you earlier, here's my prediction. Write it down. Hill Ward Henderson, the firm of Hill Ward Henderson, has single-handedly destroyed the juror system in the United States of America, because after this, nobody in their right mind will want to serve on a jury. If they can get away with doing this to a citizen who served on a jury and rendered a verdict or was part of the verdict, because remember, there were 6 jurors who decided this case, and in Florida, it had to be unanimous. So all 6 of them decided the same thing. But if a defense firm is allowed to dox a juror publicly with his name, address, attack him, his wife, our courtroom watcher, Jules, and some YouTubers, who's going to want to serve on a jury now? Who? Thank you, Posh Planet. Our whole society is crashing down around us. So many times I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone, and I have to come on here and rant a little bit so that you guys bring me back to earth. But I don't know that there's anything that you can say that's going to bring me back to earth. What am I saying? I could be in their next motion, but what am I saying? I'm giving my opinion on what I think they did, and what I think they did is disgusting. It will destroy the jury system. Nobody's going to want to serve. What are you going to do? You're going to force people to serve now? No, they aren't making our area look bad. They are making themselves look bad, not us. Correct. You are correct. Mud Swallow says, I'm agreed about it being embarrassed to be a lawyer. Are you a lawyer also? Good. Don't admit it. I would go to cocktail parties, dinner parties. People say, what do you do? Oh, a little of this, a little of that. Never want to admit you're a lawyer. Be like, oh, then they tell you lawyer jokes, which, I think were funny because, I got the joke, because I know so many jerky lawyers like that, unfortunately. Ray said, why'd they single out this juror? Because they tried to get him dismissed during the trial and it didn't work. So now they're like, oh, all their minions who were watching, somehow they connected the fact that Hippo Lover was his wife. I don't know how they got that information. So It's deep. The hole is deep. You'll get into it and you'll go back and watch the live stream that I did on the original motion about when they doxed juror number 1. Gross. Chloe's mom, you can't believe people get news from Reddit. How about people get their legal pleadings from Reddit? Their legal theories on a case from Reddit. Deirdre says, you worked hard to get your degree. Don't let POS take away your accomplishments. They can't take it away. They can't take it away from me. Girly. Melanie, I can imagine how soul-sucking litigation can be. I transcribe court cases for a living and I cry a lot and yell at my monitor almost more. Isn't it draining, especially if you're an empath? You know, some people can leave it at the door and go home and it doesn't bother them. But I would always take my clients' cases like very personally, I guess. It was hard for me to separate my own emotion from what they were going through. And so maybe it was harder for me than some people who just have no feelings. I don't know. But that's why I pivoted to doing this. Actually, I pivoted to being a working actor. And then when the strikes happened, I decided to do this because I could create my own content. And now even this is becoming a bit soul-sucking when you read the nasty comments that people seem to have nothing better to do but to leave for me. So this may be my last stream. I don't know. We'll see. McRae, it's almost like they didn't look up Greg Anderson and see he got a huge judgment from GE, another corporate behemoth. Yeah, perhaps. Girl Rye, nope. No, leaving it at the door for me. Well, not naturally. I have to actively make sure I compartmentalize. It's harder for some people to compartmentalize than others. Hard for me. I know. So, yeah, you can ignore the trolls, but yeah, it's hard. You can get 400 really, really, really nice comments, and then if there's always that one that and I'm just like, why? Like, why do people? I don't know. It's like being in high school all over again. Like, who's got the time for it? Really? Who's got the time? Georgina's the same way. Dave the Pies, if I were to have to sit on a jury for 5 weeks, I'd probably just have to move out of my apartment and prepare to live in my car for a while. Yeah, because what do they pay you? $17 a day? $17 a day for jury duty, I think, in Florida, if your employer does not pay you while you're on jury duty. Jillian says, I would gladly serve on a jury. We need to not allow this disgusting behavior from the law firm. Members of the law firm have lost sight of morality. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Don't you go. I love you. Thank you, Swiffer Sisters Mama. Thank you. I guess I'm an acquired taste, but thank you, Sandy, for saying that, because I was accused the other night on the show that I did on Duty Ron about Gabby Petito in that civil case that I was told that I have zero empathy. I think I am an arrogant, highfalutin New York lawyer that has no business being on that show. That's just one of the comments. There were about 5 of them that I screenshotted that were just vile. I am one of the most empathetic people that I know. So those people didn't really know me very well, but whatever. I don't really care. Yes, LJ, yes, this is it. This might be the second best comment of the night. Some Reddit troll is laughing so hard because his crackpot conspiracy theory was taken seriously and made it into court filings. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Liz, for saying that I'm empathetic and sensitive. Yeah, it was rough. It was a rough night the other night. They thought that I was arrogant and highfalutin and I had no empathy for Gabby Petito. And we were talking about the civil. That was not what it was about. It's a very personal case for me because Gabby Petito is from Long Island. And she's a young girl, and I'm a mother of 5, and I have 3 teenage daughters. How dare you tell me I'm not empathetic? It wasn't my show, okay? It wasn't my show. I wasn't talking the whole time. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but whatever. I don't know. Maybe it was a paid bot. Maybe. I don't know. Awesome, Jules. Jules will be at the Petito hearing on the 20th. Yes, that happens to be in Sarasota County as well. Is that also in the Venice courthouse, Jules, or is that the other courthouse? But I said that on the show the other night, on Duty Ron show. I said, this Petito versus Laundrie lawsuit is being tried in the same county as the Kowalski case, where the jury just awarded $261 million. So could be a bigger verdict. I also think it could be a tough case. I said both those things, and apparently it was not to the liking of some of the viewers, but it's in Venice. Okay, good. All right, cool. Can we say that may also be televised, or it'll be up to the judge, that trial, if it gets that far? The plaintiff's attorney did say on some show I watched the other night that he was willing to settle the Petito case if they offered him enough money. So I do not know. Thanks, Colleen. Please don't let this be your last live. We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Courtney said, I watched that. You definitely didn't sound arrogant. You just weren't giving the people the answers they wanted, which ain't your fault. I know. I'm like, look, I'm never going to lie to you guys about the law. If I don't know it, I'm going to tell you I don't know it, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat things and tell you that it's an easy case, slam dunk. I did say that based on what the Petitos, the Laundries recently revealed, that it was probably going to be a slam dunk and it was going to be a big verdict, but, wasn't my show. It wasn't for me to cry on. I don't know. I don't get it. I have assigned troll followers. I might, and I think they report my channel, and that's how I get like demonetized. And there's some people out there who have it out for me. I know who they are. Don't worry. I know who they are. I can name 3 of them right off the top of my head. Thanks, Ray. Always ignore the trolls. They desperately want attention, especially negative attention. Yeah. Yeah, that's why sometimes I pin their nasty comment to the top of the stream. Then I let you guys go for it, like the bunch of piranhas that you are, because I love you. You're my cupcakes. If you're just tuning in here, that's my logo. I'm not a cupcake. Not a cupcake. And that sign says, it's my daily reminder, you can't make everyone happy. You are not a cupcake. So my channel members are called Melanie's Little Cupcakes. It's a play on words. And we may not make everybody happy, but we make each other happy. So you can be my cupcakes, and I will be your queen cupcake. How's that? Liz, Melanie, what you said on the show, I heard months ago from other defense attorneys. What I said on the Gabby Petito show? Yeah. Very sad. Sometimes I do when the troll's over. You're right, Emmy. If you watch the comments, sometimes I do. And then they'll apologize to me later on. Oh, I'm really sorry. Or, oh, I kept watching, and you actually are nice, and you actually do have empathy. And it's like, whatever. Thank you. Thank you, Anshay Freeman. There are way more people that enjoy. Queen Cupcake, Queen Cupcake. All right. So you guys have been in this for an hour and a half, and you've listened to me rant for a while. You've shared your thoughts. You've listened to my thoughts. And just when I thought I'd heard it all, this came out today. Jules says that it's not in Venice. It's up in North Sarasota County, so I'm not sure. Starts at 8:30 with rush hour traffic. I may not be able to make it to work. Is that this case, Jules, that you're talking about? The motions hearing that's going to happen on the 15th? Hi, falutin' trolls. Get a scootin'. It's a cupcake hoedown, right? I think we may need to go make some cupcakes. Piranha, more like cupcakes armed, cutie little spider monkeys who fling icing at people. Yes. Thanks, Betty. Thanks. I try to interact with the chat. I like talking to you guys. You guys make me feel normal. Dimensional legend. How could the Hill should know about this? Because this is way out of hand. The Hill? You mean like Capitol Hill? Hill Ward Henderson. Not sure. Not sure what you mean by that. Maybe you left a couple of words out. Yes, the 15th. Thank you, Jules. Jules will be our eyes and ears. I will go on the Zoom court feed, but I don't think that I can broadcast it. But maybe we could make an application to Judge Carroll and ask him to reconsider the Zoom feed and to let Law and Crime in, or Law and Crime Court TV if you're watching. Since you guys have all the really good equipment, and you had that really good sound guy who was sitting in the front row of the trial with his headphones on and his laptop getting it done, because that was really good sound. However, we would ask that you please do not focus the camera on Maya the whole time. Please focus it on the jackholes that decide to make this argument so that they can get up in open court in front of everyone on YouTube. And maybe you should even put it on your network channel as well. and make these arguments to the people internationally who are very interested to say what or see what they're going to say and how the judge may spank them in open court. I think we all want to be there for that. You going to call me in the middle of the night, Screws? I know you are, because you're behind me. You're behind me in the time zone situation. So you're just waking up when I'm like going to sleep and you're ready to go. And it's like midnight or 3 a.m. for me. Oh, thank you, Margaret. I am real. I got a hard time being fake. I'll tell you that much. We do, Georgina. We need to see it all. We need to see it all. Oh, Clarabella, I love you. I'm far from normal. If any JHACH lawyers are watching, I cleaned up my MySpace. You guys come for me. I'm squeaky clean. All questionable music and photos removed. Come for me in the comments. I welcome it. I welcome it. Come for me in the comments. Just be respectful. You don't have to personally attack me. If you have a difference of opinion, say the difference of your opinion. You don't have to say that you think I'm an arrogant, highfalutin New York attorney who thinks she's better than everyone, because I don't. I don't. These are my people. You are my people. Time to get the whacking stick out. Sparkle, yeah, Sparkle, you just coming in? So they actually said they think juror number 1 is a Nazi, and he's silently reaching out to other Nazis. Stay strong, brotherhood. Not that. Sally Smith is not. No. Well, we read the papers, and the papers kind of don't really say that they think that he is a Nazi, unless they're going to supplement it and say that. But how else, unless he was a Nazi sympathizer, would he know about those special symbols? As evidenced in the screenshot of the website of the Simon Wiesenthal Center Research Department. I mean, he must be, because it couldn't possibly be that he is a Tampa Bay Lightning fan. Maybe he likes hockey. Let's go Rangers, by the way. Maybe he likes Gatorade. Maybe he's a fan of AC/DC. Or maybe he's a fan of Ace Frehley and Kiss. Gene Simmons. I don't know. I can think of a couple of other. I think they're insinuating it too, Magnolia Gypsy. I do too. I think they're insinuating it too, 100%. They didn't come right out and say it. But how do you accuse someone of being a Nazi without accusing someone of being a Nazi? Debbie, it's sick what Stevens is doing. We're watching you and we don't forget. No, we do not. Jules, I knew you were from the tri-state area. Something about you screams New York, New Jersey. I knew it. Jules is born and raised a Jersey girl. You can take the girl out of Jersey, but you can't take Jersey out of the girl. Just saying, no doubt. No doubt, girlfriend. You are giving them a run for their money. They're afraid of you, and that's why they put you in the motion. They're afraid of you. You're not going to back down. Everything that you're doing is 100% within the bounds of the law. It's inside the confines. What they are doing is not within the confines. Oh, that's funny. Hold on. Corporal U.S. Marine Corps got retired. Thank you for your service. Semper Fi. My dad was also a Marine. Gatorade was first created at the University of Florida, but he's probably just a Harry Potter fan. Patrons Glow, Harry Potter nerd right here, hence the name. Skoda thinks it's awesome that you're from Jersey. Yeah, everyone knew it. Everyone knew. Everyone knew. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we found out. Yay. My goodness. Jeanette, different opinions. Different opinion is a discussion of thoughts and position, allowing for compromising, but ignorant small minds make slurs. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're getting your legal theories and your legal arguments from a Reddit thread, maybe you ought to rethink everything. Everything. This is going to splash back on the hospital in a way that any sort of fecal explosion would be preferred probably by them. So that is all of the disgusting things that I'm going to say for tonight. I love to read your comments. Just please be respectful. Thank you to my amazing moderators who keep the chat classy and always, always protect us from the bullies. Thank you also to my channel members, Melanie's Little Cupcakes, for loving me enough to want to be a part of my community. And I really like this community that we're building here, so screw anybody who doesn't. And to everyone who watches my show, if you would please like the video, that helps the algorithm. I don't know what the algorithm is, but that's what they tell me. Also, if you would like to subscribe, it's free. Just hit that little subscribe button below. Hit that bell so that you'll get notifications whenever I go live, because right now I don't have a set schedule. I may start a set schedule because then it's easier for people to plan. But like tonight, I only decided to go live about an hour and a half before the stream. So if you do have that set to all notifications, you won't miss a beat. You can also go back and rewatch the stream tonight. And remember, be cool, be kind, be classy. It's not that hard. I love you guys. Thank you. Maybe this won't be my last live stream. Oh, but check out this new chrome polish that I got. It's pretty cool, right?